In the next parallel tracks, there are two fireside chats. In track 1, the topic of the chat session is Technology Powering India's Health Schemes, AB, PMJAY and NDHM, between R.S. Sharma, CEO, National Health Authority of India, with T. Radhakrishna, Editor, South, ET Government. And the topic of track 2 is Reimagining Startups and SMBs for Atmanirbhar Bharat. This chat session is between Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology, Parks of India, MeitY, Government of India, and Mohammad Ujale, Senior Special Correspondent, ET Government. Over to you, gentlemen.
Dr. R.S. Sharma, Chief Executive Officer of National Health Authority. Sir, welcome to ET Government.
Thank you very much for having me on your channel.
So congratulations to you on your new assignment. What are your priorities at this moment out of your mandate given to you by National Health Authority Chairman or Union Honorable Minister Health?
The priorities are essentially to implement the PMJAY, which is Ayushman Bharat scheme launched by the Honorable Prime Minister. It's a flagship scheme of the Government of India, which is being implemented all states except 4 states of Delhi, Telangana, West Bengal and Odisha. These are the 4 states which are not implementing this, but rest of the country is implementing. So ensuring that everybody gets health coverage, everybody who is eligible gets the inpatient kind of they can spend money on their treatment up to 5 lakh per family. So essentially the coverage of this scheme must go to all the eligible people. So that's one objective. Another objective is to create a national digital health platform, which the Honorable Prime Minister launched on 15th of August this year in the Union Territories. So that is basically National Digital Health Mission, NDHM, and that is what is another priority of the National Health Authority. And I will try to implement both these schemes.
Sir, you bring a lot of experience and value to National Health Authorities Board. As an eminent administrator, which are the areas India and NHA can do better, especially in dealing with the healthcare services during this crisis?
No, India has very effectively, sort of dealt with the COVID part, and now we are dealing with the COVID vaccination. And I think since yesterday, that 1st of March, we have started a new phase in the vaccination program, and which I think will scale up because we have involved the private sector into this program. So we have about 12,500 private sector hospitals who are, sort of complementing the state government's efforts to improve the vaccine delivery sort of numbers. So that's one part. Secondly, obviously, we need to have a strong, service delivery infrastructure. So more hospitals, more diagnostic centers, more labs. So these are some of the things which are required from the supply side. And of course, from the demand side, we need to have, we already have a demand, but that demand, sometimes people do not have purchasing power to satisfy that demand. And that is where the government comes in with the program like Ayushman Bharat, which essentially ensures that people are not left without treatment because of want of money. So that's actually the way it is supposed to work. And obviously this time around, you must have seen in the budget that there is a significant increase in the health outlay, which means the government is also very serious about ensuring that the well-being of everybody in this country.
Thank you. So due to change of leadership, is there any different or a better approach towards ongoing initiatives such as National Digital Health Mission, IT 2.0 for your PMJAY, and CoWIN, which is very active today, vaccine management?
Well, I think leadership change should not make, because ultimately the policies remain the same. So leadership is essentially, my predecessor has done a fantastic work in this area. And I just want to continue his sort of work which he has done. I want to build upon that. So it's not some kind of a new person has come, so therefore new priorities have come. That's not the way it happens in the public service domain. So I'll continue to build upon what he has already built.
On the COVID vaccination, I mean, the COVID is an application. Of course, it is a mobile application. It is a web application. There was some kind of a concerns from the state governments. Can you just elaborate on the present status of COVID, sir?
No, there is no concern from the state government. The present status of COVID is that the COVID 2.0 was launched yesterday, and we already have about 5 million registrations on that platform. And of course, people have got themselves vaccinated also yesterday itself, and people have scheduled their appointments in near future. What we are ensuring that the private sector hospitals get vaccines in adequate quantity, so that they can publish the sort of their timetable or their sessions, vaccination sessions, and people can get appointment against them. So that's the way it's going to operate in future. And I think it will soon scale up to very large, significant numbers.
Thank you, sir. Sir, under Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, National Health Authority worked on national portability like telecom, department for healthcare services. Can you share further progress on this?
No, essentially, the point is that portability can be implemented if the eligibility and identity both are on cloud. So you can go anywhere and you can prove that you are you. And similarly, if your eligibility is also there on the cloud, that means you are entitled for receiving a particular benefit of the government, then it makes it possible for you to, for the benefits to become portable. So that is happening for example, in public distribution system, in the ration cards. It is happening in many, domains, like, for example, in banking, etc. Now you are not a customer of any particular bank branch. You are a customer of the bank per se. Similarly, the National Digital Health Mission and also the PMJAY is portability is ingrained into their concept since the very beginning. It's not an afterthought. So I think portability is the paradigm of the day because of our mobile population. People are moving from one place to another. There are migrations taking place. As many as 200 million people migrate from one place to another place in a year. It may be temporary migration and stuff like that. So seasonal migration, but that's happening. And therefore, we have to cater to those migratory population.
So telemedicine as a concept has brought enormous value to the healthcare services in India, of course, everywhere also. Due to COVID, the recognition is come to the telemedicine and its importance. Can you, from NHA point of view, do you see telemedicine exponential growth?
Certainly, the National Digital Health Mission basically, tries to leverage the digital technologies to deliver health services in an affordable, ubiquitous manner to everybody, and teleconsultation will be an important component of that. The digital delivery of medicines will be another part. So I think there are a lot of telediagnostic will be another issue. So I think we will use these technologies, and like me and you are talking on a digital platform, sitting remotely. I am sitting in my room, you are sitting in your room, and we are able to effectively communicate as if we are sitting in front of one another. Similarly, we can use this particular technology to ensure that the doctors don't need to probably go from one place to another place. Doctors sitting at one place and patients also sitting in their places can communicate effectively with each other. I'm not saying that everything can be done through telemedicine. Obviously, surgery will not be able to be done at this point in time, but then many things can be done, and we should leverage that. It will actually reduce cost. It will reduce cost for everybody. It will also improve the utilization of time of our doctors, of our medical professionals, and other kinds of stakeholders.
Public-private partnership. This is what you have initially mentioned. We have, for vaccination is concerned, we have to involve private participation. Do you see private participation beyond vaccination?
Oh yeah, PMJAY itself is also an example of private participation. After all, the insurance claims are raised by private hospitals also, like the public hospitals. So I think we are involving the private sector, hospitals, diagnostic labs, everybody in a full way. I mean, there's no question of they are not participating. So we are actually working on the PPP model, public-private partnership model.
For 2021 priorities list, National Digital Health Mission for state governments, what can we expect from you?
No. The point is that we have created a platform. However, that platform will have to be evangelized. It has to be popularized. It has to be used by the stakeholders, and therefore we have to create awareness among various stakeholders. We have to, take care of their concerns in case they have any. So I think the stakeholders being taken together, everybody should come on board, and that's very important, because creating a platform is one part, but bringing the people to that platform is quite another, and we will have to do a lot of work to bring the state governments, to patients, to labs, to hospitals, to digital electronic records of medical records, everything, if you want to bring on the platform, leveraging Aadhaar, leveraging payment systems, this will all require, a lot of evangelization.
Sir, my last question, with your permission.
Yeah, sure.
Use of technology for building COVID application, your IT 2.0, National Digital Health, you require a lot of assistance from the IT teams. National Informatics Center as our Government of India's institution. Do you also explore opportunities working with the external resources?
No, we have no philosophical, construct in this. We will, as I said, we will get the best teams wherever they are available. We will get it, obviously, keeping in view the public procurement processes. But we certainly will need people who can help us in building these digital artifacts and digital infrastructure.
R.S. Sarmaji, thank you very much talking to ET Government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Radhakrishna. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, panelists, for sharing your vast knowledge. Let's proceed to the expo area as we'll take a short networking break.